Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is a little bit of truth serum. Looking at the energy that we're walking through, we're living in for decades to come, meaning Aquarian energy. We have Capricorn's energy in Aquarius, the 11th house, and Jupiter. What that says to me is that a lot of what we see going on was already preordained and destined. A lot of us had been praying and hoping for freedom, and I can admit that it was inside of me that freedom would come. But because we were born in this world, it can be hard to take the focus off of the outer world and bring it into our inner world, which is within us. Why am I saying this? Because even at this time when we began to share areas of life that we've never talked about and areas of study that we've never talked about, and some we didn't talk about or we shied away from talking about them because of what other people would say is coming to an end, we can talk freely about studies such as astrology, psychology, and theology. I find that no one ever questioned astronomy. They never questioned that the astronauts went into the universe, but they questioned anyone that talked about the universe and astrology. We were even told not to look at our sun and moon signs, the time and the day that we were born, not looking at the fact that the time, the day, and the sign that we were born under can tell us the story to come, much of what is prophetic. Because what I found through studying is that the words prophetically that God had given me from a young child for myself came through prophets as I got older, but I was given that word and those words earlier in my life. There were many, many prophetic words that I heard that were given earlier in my life, and I had experiences with visions that other people would not accept. So this is a time of freedom for me. Prophets spoke about leadership. They also spoke about wisdom that was hidden in the darkness. And so at this time, I'm able to share this wisdom with people and encourage others to share the wisdom of God as they've received it. I went to astrology only because, or I started studying astrology only because, number one, I kept hearing it in the spirit. I kept seeing signs of it, but I wouldn't do it because of what I had learned in religion. I did go to theology school, and I received a bachelor's degree in it, and I went to the University of Metaphysics and received a bachelor's degree there. I have been a scholar to learn from the time I probably crossed the threshold of 35 or 36 years old. I didn't finish school the way that most people do, but I find that it was a wonderful thing that I didn't, and I went to adult education and finished because it gave me something to help young people understand that you can stop, but you can start again. So even though I did graduate on time, I finished an adult day school, adult ed, I should say. And that says a lot within itself, because the time that I was born had me in an old mindset. I wanted to only be around older people or be around people that could speak wisdom or teach me from a wise, consult type of method or vibration, meaning that I like being around old people. I like the wisdom, information that was not being spoken through maybe my peers, So anyway, going to school and theology school, going to theology school, and then going into human services, getting my associates in human service and psychology, and then my bachelor's, and then into my master's, in psychology. So once I got to that place, which was about 5 years ago, and I received my master's, what I found is that I was still looking at, this idea and strong pull to understand astrology, because during the master's years, I was working in behavioral services, and I still do. I found something that added up when I looked at, the times that people were born, such as Pisces. Pisces would always, people born in March or Pisces energy, many of them would have schizophrenia or psychotic behaviors. They would have psychosis. Not all, but some of them. Some of them may have been able to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? The other thing was people born under Aries, I would find, were hyperactive. It's not that I'm putting a diagnosis on them. It's just that I saw the behaviors would line up. They were very anxious, Aries, and Sagittarius would be restless, or going into the thigh or the leg or side, the sciatic nerve acting up. So I began to see that there was some connection with mental health and the physical health. Now, I'm not a doctor, but whenever you are led spiritually, you're going to research and you begin to tell people. Scorpio energy, I found that some of this energy would have skin trouble, acne. They also would have situations where the sinuses would bother them, and it could get, it could become very chronic. Cancers would show up with leukemia or cancer type of situations. They also would show up with tumors. And so there is a need, I found, to follow the Spirit, follow God in me, because even in the Bible, these signs are sitting there, the 12 tribes. I don't want to get into just breaking it all down. I just want to identify with freedom to be able to study and break traditions. I'm not telling anyone to go against their family thoughts or to go against the grain. I'm saying go into what Spirit leads you, because you never know who you're going to be able to help overcome something in a behavior issue or emotionally because of a specialty that you're given. That specialty helps you to identify something in someone and send them to a doctor that can help them overcome in a behavior area or in a physical area. You see, if you're able to let go of what men are saying and what you were taught in the beginning, because if I hadn't have went to Liberty and saw how Liberty University's the syllabus incorporated spirituality and theology, I'm not saying that I would have never gotten to the place that I am, but theology and spirituality was not connected. They are two different things, because theology, it runs along the basis of religion, which is a traditional practice, but it doesn't take you within, whereas spirituality does, which spirituality when you really start going within, you're going to go into metaphysics. It's just no way if you really, really love going within and practicing consciousness. So religion is the beginning of you practicing something to get to the next level. It's like John baptizing Jesus, and then Jesus, working with the disciples. And that's been my journey from the Christian faith. And I still believe in Christ strongly. I believe that the masters actually work together to help humanity, and the gods and the goddesses. That's my belief. And when I say freedom, this is a time when no one can take what I believe away. I can sit at the table and conversate with others, but because I'm able to assist those behaviors and help others transform them and become more healthy emotionally, I tend to just stay within the sector of my belief system. I believe that most people will respect a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If I tell someone that I am a minister and I study astrology, you're usually going to get some feedback that it's witchcraft. I just want people to open up their hearts and minds to become less judgmental, because everything that we have